The J35XS, in my opinion, is probably the worst possible premium pack you can pick up right now for top tier air and War Thunder. The last batch of battle rating changes made to air realistic battles, specifically around top tier, has pretty much killed this plane. It is just not worth it anymore to buy. If you already own it, it's probably not worth it for you to play anymore either, as I'm sure many of you have experienced. Unfortunately, Gaijin decided to make these battle rating changes about a week after their sales went around, where they put all these packs at 50% off, let all of you buy them up, and then completely changed the usability of all of the premiums that you had just purchased. Honestly, kind of a crazy business decision in my opinion, but I'm not Gaijin. I don't run the company. I guess they'll just do whatever they want. And I'm not just going to spend this entire video telling you not to buy this piece of shit while not offering you alternatives, because there are some good premium packs you can still pick up and I think are still somewhat competitive, some even very competitive for their battle rating. Just to name one example, I've already made a video about the J70. I think that is probably the best premium you can buy for top tier air in the game right now. And now that the J10A is in the game, it makes the grind that much more worth it. So if you're looking to grind the J10, the J70 is a fantastic pickup. If you do want to pick it up, I'd really appreciate if you use my discount code, where you'll also get this cool decal on screen. The link is in the description down below. But aside from the J70, which I had recently pretty much just uploaded, go check that video out if you haven't already, I will be making some new videos about other premiums that I think are actually pretty decent, if not usable, to grind a tech tree with. But now for the topic at hand, the J35XS. Why is this thing so terrible to play after the battle rating changes? Well, at first glance, it really doesn't look like a whole lot would change, because its peer-to-peer aircraft are still relatively around its same battle rating, or at least what Gaijin considers to be peer-to-peer with the J35XS. That is quite debatable, but nonetheless, they kind of all moved up together. The problem is that they moved up to begin with. The cool thing about the J35XS is you could take your 6 AIM-9Js or AIM-9Ps, and you could get down into a 9.7 lobby or a 10.0 lobby pretty dang consistently. It was at a battle rating of 10.7, but it rarely ever got up tiered. It was pretty much 10.7 or lower just about every time you played it. So in practice, because of its favorable matchmaker, it was actually a pretty good premium. You could very consistently just fly right behind people going after bases, bombing to get RP and whatnot, and just shoot your AIM-9Ps at them. Aside from that, you'll be finding subsonics pretty regularly. You don't have to deal with that many really strong missiles. It's typically just going to be things that you can one flare rather easily, but that's just not the case anymore. One of the weaknesses the J35XS always had was that it fights F-14 Tomcats and it doesn't even have RWR. Well, now that there's a new Tomcat sporting even better missiles, the Fakor 90 and the Sigil, or whatever it's called, that they've renamed it to these days, it's just that much worse. The Phoenixes, the Fakors, the Sigil, hell, even AIM-7 Sparrows from F4Ss are pretty annoying to deal with in the XS, because you don't even know that they're being launched at you. You're forced to hug the ground at all times to try your best to multipath these missiles, even though that's pretty much just a roll of the dice these days, whether or not you're actually going to get hit by the splash damage or not of the missile impacting the ground, because you only have 12 countermeasures. You can't reliably chaff and notch these missiles. And that is if you're even going to take chaff, because the J35XS only has 12 total countermeasures. So that's 12 drops, and it's either going to be flares or chaff. But if you're going to take chaff, you barely have any flares. You need all the flares you can get, so I don't even run chaff to begin with. And to make matters even worse, you're fighting all aspect missiles much more frequently at this battle rating, since you're not getting the down tiers you used to, and now the A10C having 4 AIM-9Ms at 11.3, one of those AIM-9Ms is going to, at best, take up 6 of those flares that you have. That's 50% of your countermeasures gone from a single AIM-9M, and at worst is probably going to take damn near all of them. The flight model, of course, hasn't changed. It really wasn't that great to begin with, but against the competition that it regularly had in its matchmaker prior to the battle rating changes, it wasn't the end of the world that the flight model wasn't super great. In this battle rating, however, you have poor weaponry, you have poor flight model, you have a low amount of countermeasures, you have no RWR. What is this thing doing at this battle rating? 11.3, like seriously, Gaijin, what the hell are we doing here with the J35XS? It's honestly pretty frustrating for me. I didn't even buy it myself, But just knowing that you guys have paid money for this thing, a lot of money at that, and then they make this plane pretty much unusable, well, I'm pretty annoyed by it. As I'm sure most of you are as well. Honestly, this plane's not a whole lot better than something like a Mirage 3. I think that it very easily could have stayed at the 10.7 battle rating and been just fine. That's what I hope Gaijin does in the future. But for the time being, I just cannot recommend this thing as a $70 premium pack. Good luck grinding for the Gripen without one of these, however. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see ya.